Hello everyone, my name is Amanda and welcome back to another video of the Planty Mandy. So today I'm going to show you 5 best Hoya for beginners. By saying for beginners, I mean that it's a great choice for people who just started to collect or grow Hoyas. And when I pick these 5 Hoyas, I look at 3 different categories. Number 1 is how easy it is to care for the plants and make it grow. So if you just started to grow Hoyas, you probably don't want to bring something that is super high maintenance into your home only to kill it. And that's going to destroy your whole confidence of growing more Hoyas in the future. And that's why the number 1 thing I look at is how easy it is to actually care for that particular Hoyas. And the second thing I look at is the commercial availability. So by commercial availability, I mean how easy for a hobbyist, like myself or, a lot of other people to get your hands on the Hoyas. Because some of the more rare Hoyas, you may not be able to find it in your local nurseries or plant shops. You may have to actually reach out to private collectors in order to get some, and that is not very accessible for beginners. Last but not least, I look at the price. So Hoyas can get really expensive. I'm talking about hundreds to thousands of dollars. And when you first start to collect Hoyas, when you're not super familiar with the genus itself or how to care for them, you probably don't want to invest like a lot of money into a Hoyas only to take it home and kill it and money down the drain. So the third thing I look at is actually how much the Hoya is going to cost. So with that being said, let's get started. So the first Hoyas I highly recommend for beginners is the good old Hoya carnosa. So Hoya carnosa is the Hoyas that have been cultivated or grow by us for a long time. And this is actually my first Hoyas when I started to grow Hoyas. And originally, this plant just, live in my average living room environment, which have about 50 to 60% humidity and about like 50 to 60% 50 to 60 degree temperature. And at the average environment, it still grow for me. And later on, when I put it into my greenhouse, this guy literally just explode. Like it just give me leaves after leaves after leaves. So I would say Hoya carnosa, like the green one, if you put it in a suboptimal condition, it will grow for you. But if you put it in a more optimal condition, it's gonna grow like crazy for you. And that's why I believe this is a really good plant, really good Hoyas to build up your confidence on. As for the availability, you can find it in any of your local nursery, obviously. Not right now because of the COVID situation. It may be harder for you to get to nurseries or plant shops. But, otherwise, it's super easy to find in your local plant shops or nurseries. You can also find it online really easy as well. And at a really low price, which is my next pawn. I believe when I first got this plant, obviously it's not as big. It's probably just like contained to the 4-inch pot. But it's cost me like $9, like $9 US. So that's pretty affordable. So yeah, so this is definitely my top choice, Hoya carnosa. And I also want to show you this different Hoya carnosa. So this is a Hoya carnosa laurel leaves. And as you can see, the leaf shape is a little bit longer and more lateral than the regular carnosa. And the reason I want to show you different clones for the Hoya carnosa is some people think that, it's just Hoya carnosa. It's so normal, it's so common, it's just green. It's boring. It's not. Like, I'm not even talking about the cultivated varieties. I'm just talking about Hoya carnosa, the species itself, have different shapes and forms and just they all look so different even within the same species. So yeah, so as you can see, this is a Hoya carnosa laurel forms. So yeah, so I personally love the Hoya carnosa. And even though this is my first one, it's still one of my favorites. So yeah, this will be the first plant I recommend for beginner when you first start to collect Hoyas. Hoya carnosa. All right, the second one that I want to recommend is actually a cultivated varieties of Hoya carnosa. And this is, oh my God, sorry, it's really big. Yeah, so this is the Hoya carnosa Krimson Princess. So as you can see, this is the princess because the variegation is in the middle. And I want to point this out specifically because there's another cultivated varieties called the Hoya carnosa. Can you see me? Hoya carnosa Crimson Queen. And the Crimson Queen is different in terms of the variegation is on the outside instead of the inside. And in my experience, the Hoya carnosa Crimson Queen is not as easy to keep as the princess. That's just my experience, and that's why I will recommend the princess instead of the queen. So yeah, since this is a cultivated varieties of Hoya carnosa, the care tips is pretty similar. It's if you give it like regular environments, which this one is in my regular environment, it will grow. You can see all this like new growth, all this like tendril that have been growing out. This is just in my regular like 50 to 60% humidity and 50 to 60 degree Fahrenheit environment living room. Yeah, so I believe if you have a big enough greenhouse, which I don't, to put it in, it's gonna grow even more. And one thing I want to point out with this guy is that if you decide that you want to propagate it, you want to like just cut it and stick it into some sphagnum moss or whatever medium you use, this guy root incredibly fast. I would say within a week, it will already have roots showing up. So pretty amazing and pretty easy. Availability and price wise, this is also really easy to find in your local nursery or plant shops or online. I got this one in a local plant shops, and yeah, and I think I pay about $50 for this, 40 or 50 bucks. So that is a premium price, that I pay because it's a small local shops, and I don't mind to support small business. But if you find this online, you can probably find it for under like $30 for maybe like a 4 to 6 inch pot, which is not too bad at all in comparison to some more expensive Hoyas. So I would say, yeah, this is also a really good beginners Hoyas. If you don't have a lot of experience in growing Hoyas. Look at how big this guy is. Yeah, so I think if you find a smaller one, because this one is like in an 8-inch pot, so that's why I pay about like $50 for this. But if you guys look for a 4-inch pot or even like a smaller one, you can probably get it for like $20 or $30 max. And yep, this is the Hoya carnosa Crimson Princess. Awesome. All right, so the next one I want to show you, it's also really easy to find in your local nurseries, and there's so many different varieties of it. And this is the Hoya, right here, it's already in frame. This is the Hoya pubicalyx. So as you can see, the Hoya pubicalyx have I would say like a slightly longer leaf in comparison to the carnosa and the Crimson Princess. And this particular varieties is the Hoya pubicalyx Royal Hawaiian Purple. And the reason it's called Royal Hawaiian Purple is, let me see if I can find a newer leaves for you. Oh my goodness, is it this one? No. Is it? Let's see, I can't find one. Yep, so you can see, because the new grow come out with this like deep maroon purple color, and that's why it's called the Royal Hawaiian Purple. And then when the leaves slowly mature, it will turn, you can see it's fading, this one fade into like the regular mature green color. And this is a really easy grower, as you can see. Same thing in my regular environment, no pampering at all, and it just keeps shooting out this tendril. And it hasn't stopped growing for me since I got it. So it's pretty amazing. And there's different varieties of the pubicalyx, right? So for example, I got this one. Yeah. So this is also a pubicalyx. I don't know what exactly name it is because I got it from the SF Botanical Garden and it just labeled as Hoya pubicalyx. But you can see they look really different even though they are both pubicalyx. And other varieties of pubicalyx I have is this guy. So this is the Hoya pubicalyx Splash, it's called. So it's called Splash, obviously, because they have a lot of like silver splash on it. So yeah, it's also a really, you know, easy grower. As you can see, all this like tendril, it's like everywhere. And one more pubicalyx I want to show you is this one. So I got this from Gardino Nursery, and then it's sold to me as Hoya pubicalyx from Miami. So according to the website, the Gardino Nursery actually get this from a grower in Miami, and it doesn't have any particular information about this pubicalyx. However, they do notice that this pubicalyx have a larger leaves in comparison to the other one. So you can see this is my Royal Hawaiian Purple, and this is my the one from Miami, and this one is obviously have like much larger leaves. So yeah, so these are some of the do I have more? No, I think that's it. So these are all the pubicalyx I have. As you can see, like even though they are all Hoya pubicalyx, they look so different. So it's really fun, you know, to collect them. And then they are also all really easy to care for. Price-wise, I would say it's similar to the Krimson Princess. It's definitely a little bit more expensive than the regular pubicalyx, but it's not something that is like super unaffordable. So I would say I think I got this one. So this is the cheapest one I got. I got it from Trader Joe's. Remember, there's like this craze about Trader Joe's selling Royal Hawaiian Purple for like $15, and this is one of them. But I would say on average, you're expecting to pay like $20 to $30 to like a 6-inch pot, which is not bad at all. So yeah, so that is my third recommendation of like Hoyas for beginner, which is the Hoya pubicalyx. Awesome. Right, so next one I want to recommend to you is a little bit not as succulent because you can see the carnosa, the carnosa Crimson Princess, and the pubicalyx, they all have more succulent leaves. And this one have slightly thinner leaves. And this is the Hoya australis. So Hoya australis come from Australia. And then I know there's like different cultivated varieties of australis as well, but this one's just the regular Hoya australis. And you can see the leaf is slightly thinner, like you can bend it. I would say it's like semi-succulent, but regardless, it's still a really easy grower. So again, it's just in my regular home environment, no pampering, no extra humidity or anything like that. And it has been, again, shooting out all this tendril. In fact, you can see like, you see this like curl here, right? So what this guy has been doing is it's on my shelf, and then it shoot out this tendril, and then it just like wrap around the side of my shelf, and it wrapped itself so tightly that I actually have to like untwine it carefully in order not to pull the whole shelf down when I you know, take this down to show you guys. And as you can see, it also has been, it has been like giving me like a lot of new growth. So for example, like right here, like right here, these are the new growth because it's like more bronzy and like maroon color. So yeah, this is also a really easy to care for, and it just have this really like beautiful pendant shape. And I believe I spent $25 on this 6-inch pot, which is not bad at all because it's really green and lush. And again, I got this from a local plant shop, so the price point may be a little bit higher than like some big box store or online. But yeah, overall, I think $25 is a very reasonable price for this size and this quality of plants. So yep, this is my 4th recommended Hoyas for beginner, Hoya australis. yeah, it's pretty easy to find too. Awesome. All right, so the last one I want to recommend to you is probably not something that you will see all the time at your local plant shop or nursery. You may have to find this one online, and that's why I leave it for the end. However, it is also super easy to care for, and it's just a great grower, you'll see. And this is the Hoya irismarie. So Hoya irismarie, I think it's formerly known as Hoya Pezii, something like that. The first time I got a Hoya irismarie is from the San Francisco Botanical Garden, and that guy just, again, regular environment, no extra light, no extra anything. It's just in my regular environment, sitting by my windowsill. And this guy just won't stop shooting out new growths. And later on, when I find out, what this plant actually is, I actually found this on nogis.com. And I bought a couple more, and then I put them together. And now they're one big happy family. And then you can see it's also similar to the australis. It has thinner leaves. And the leaf shape, instead of like the round leaf shape like australis, it's actually a more like longer oval shape. And you can see like all this like tendril, like new growths coming out bronzy, extremely similar to the australis. And then you can see it slowly transition into the green as the leaves get more and more mature. So this plant actually grows so much that like all this tendril is like all over the place. That's why I have to add this trellis. So by the way, if you're interested in the trellis, which a lot of you guys do on Facebook and on Instagram, I'm just gonna put a link at below so you can check it out yourself. But yeah, so this is a really beautiful, really easy to grow Hoya as well. So this is the Hoya irismarie. And again, you probably won't be able to find it at your local nurseries or plant shop, but this is not the hardest plant to find online. And the price is really reasonable. I believe for like one plant, not the whole thing, but like for one plant at nogis.com, I probably spent like under $20. And yeah, I think it's well worth the price for what it is, how beautiful it is, the quality of the plants, and how fast it's grow. So yep, this is my last recommended Hoyas for beginner, Hoya irismarie. Awesome. So what do you guys think? Like, have you guys already have some of this Hoyas in your home? Like, let me know in the comment below. Like I said, it's about growing. It's about growing and planting. It's about bringing joy into your life or into like someone else's life. So I think it's a great idea to start with some easier to care for plants with like more availability and like a more affordable price, so that way you can actually build up your confidence and you can actually enjoy the process of growing plants instead of like getting stressed out like, oh my god, I'm gonna kill it, I'm gonna like waste all this money. So yeah, so I hope this video like help you a little bit, and yeah, definitely let me know in the comment below what do you think, and then do you have any of this plan, and if you have any question at all, I would love to hear them. If you like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up, and if you want more future videos like that, make sure you just click subscribe. As always, I will see you next time. Bye.